It's an interesting number. Another strong report expected as markets wonder. Two factors could begin to show up in the data. Tariffs and worker shortages kind of working against each other. Barclays said there could even be a tariff impact in this report. In their commentary, they said, quote, we expect non-farm payrolls to rise by 175,000 on the month. This would represent some modest slowing from the recent pace of hiring and, in our view, could reflect increasing concerns over protectionism. That is not the general view on the market. Here are the top line numbers that we're looking for. 190,000 is the general one. Maybe we don't have that chart there, but if we did, it would say. Yes. And a 3.9% unemployment rate, down a tick. The average hourly wages with a funky sign in there, up 0.2% is the expectation. Mm-hmm. Don't ask me what that means. June non-farm payrolls, 213,000. So a modest slowing, but it doesn't matter. You're in that 200, 190, 215. It's all in that range there. Related data heading into the report has pointed to strong gains, including the ISM manufacturing report, low jobless claims, and, of course, ADP we brought you on Wednesday. Meanwhile, a lack of skilled workers is the #1 complaint of employers, some of whom have lowered their standards to fill jobs.
Why don't they train people instead?
Train, don't complain.
I think they're doing some of that. I think they've been conditioned in a Pavlovian way to rely on states and governments to provide the training. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of businesses aren't geared up and haven't been geared up for many decades, and they're looking to local community colleges. They're doing those sort of things. So we don't see a whole. I don't think they're geared up to have that.
It's a good place for a private-public partnership, right?
There are, and they're out there. The trouble is, I don't think that. Well, we did one. Remember we did the Louisville thing where a lot of companies are in there trying to get talent at the high school level.
Yeah, I know some other companies that do that, too. I think AT&T has a deal with one of the universities in the South where it's trying to help pay for people to go back for engineering skills that they need.
I think that's a big part of it. And I also think that they need to internalize it as well. There was a lot of competition between municipalities. Mm-hmm. And I covered some of these things where a southern state or locality would woo a northern company, and always as part of that was this big job training thing. Mm-hmm. That was always what they.
It's for 125 years ago, only like 12 rich dudes went to college, and somehow the economy grew because we did apprenticeships. We've got to go back to that kind, to Becky's point, that kind of out-of-the-box thinking. Well, by the way, also hire some felons who are nonviolent, who are pushed out of the job market because 20 years ago they did something stupid.
Right, but let's think about the transmission of a horse and buggy versus the transmission of a car today. Right, we didn't need people to go to college to do the transmission in the horse and buggy.
Yeah, but the horse may kick you if you try to trust the transmission.
Well, you needed to know a thing or two about horses, but you didn't know. Now you need to know a thing or two about how computers control horsepower, right? So what's happened is the economy's become more complex. And by the way, that gets to the thing. I don't want to get back on my horse again, high horse on the trade thing. But everybody says, well, these jobs that we've lost. The point of economic growth and progress is to move up the value chain. You want to give those other countries the dumb stuff, or the dumber stuff, the lower value stuff, while you do the higher value stuff. And that's how we continue to maintain our edge. We don't want to bring back. Now, some people may want to do those jobs, but as you guys were talking about earlier, there's the factory jobs today are so different. You know the old joke. It's an old joke. It's just the factory of the future will have only a dog and a man in it. And the man is there to feed the dog, and the dog is there to make sure the man doesn't touch anything.
I don't know that old joke.
It's an old joke.
I think it's a Russian proverb.
It's an old econ joke.
Is it an old econ joke?
I know if Joe were here, he would forbid economic humor, but that is a little bit of economic humor.
There's nothing wrong with a little bit of Hayek's in the morning.